retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.
Let's get it going out there. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome on into Settling the Kingdom right here with, of course, Tanner Dawson right here by my side. And guys, kick it right off. I mean, we got to be still kind of excited about that Chiefs-Buccaneers game, of course. Going out there, rolling them over like they were a little high school team in the run game, especially. Pushed the defense around quite a bit, so that was nice to see. I thought the offensive line played phenomenal, and I want to see that carry over here as we go into Week 5 against the Las Vegas Raiders on Monday Night Football. So, Tanner, any quick recap, your thoughts on the Chiefs-Buccaneers game?
I just hope we come out with the same kind of fire, the same kind of drive we did versus Tampa this past week. You know, not only starting off with that special teams, but the second play ended up being a touchdown essentially to Travis Kelce right off the bat. Clyde was able to run. We saw the monsters of the O-line, the interior guys, be able to get out there and block ahead of time, be able to use Wiley and Brown for other uses. So, I'm excited to see what this offense continues to do. They continue to develop. They continue to figure things out, and they continue to add new guys into the offensive program. And on top of that, the defense actually hasn't looked bad these few games, even without Gay and McDuffie. So I'm hoping to see more of that come into play, just more aggressiveness, more trying to make a play on the ball and, tackling guys.
Yeah, for me, a lot of it was versatility on the offense and seeing guys be interchangeable, mixing and matching different personnel groupings. I think we saw, obviously, all three tight ends scored a touchdown last week. Noah Gray punched one in from a quarterback sneak standpoint. And then, we had Travis Kelce, and then Jody Fortson as well caught a touchdown. So all three of our tight ends got touchdowns in this game. And I think that's going to be some versatility to consider, to think about as time goes on, and what some of the guys on this offense are capable of, because we saw that happen. We saw Juju still have another pretty decent game here as a Chief.
Pretty decent, yeah.
We still need to see a little more out of Marquez Valdes-Scantling. I'd like to see him step up a little bit more. I don't know necessarily what his upside is yet in this offense, but we got to see 3 catches from Sky Moore. Good to see him on the field a little bit more often. And, obviously, Mecole Hardman's still kind of non-existent right now. But I don't know if it's going to stay that way. Patrick Mahomes said before the season, guys, that, don't be expecting and relying on one guy.
That's correct.
Especially you fantasy owners out there. Hey, sorry, guys, but you're never going to know what's going to happen week to week with this offense, with the receivers in this offense. So just because Hardman's had a rough beginning here to this season does not necessarily mean that it's all done and he's not going to have any games that really stand out. I think, he's familiar with the Raiders now. He's been with this team for 4 years, and this is his opportunity right here in Week 5 to make a big play, stand out, make a big, 50-yard screen pass or 50-yard vertical threat type of play, and really get himself going. Because, personally, I don't know if long-term Mecole Hardman's going to be with this team. I don't think he will be. I think this is probably his last year as a Chief, but as an individual player, you still have a lot to play for, obviously. You still have a lot to prove, and Patrick Mahomes probably doesn't trust him all that much for whatever reason, which I get it.
I get it.
And I think Hardman's going to have to be a guy that maybe could be more vocal and more involved and say, like, hey, man, start looking my way. Do something to get it in his ear to let him know
get the attention.
That you want to be involved in this
attention.
offense, because right now it's non-existent. But here against the Raiders, I think there's going to be a great opportunity to beat them over the top. I want to see something down the field. I think there's going to be some opportunities to get open. But first and foremost, I just want to see this offensive line go back into Week 5 with the same mentality of wanting to shove guys around. And I want to see Clyde and Isaiah Pacheco go out there, split the game, give them both 12 carries each, and just pound it. Pick up 60 yards each. That's what I want to see once again.
That'd be great. Like, just go at them. Just go at Las Vegas. We saw through the first 4 weeks essentially, that if you can pound it to their D-line isn't stopping anybody outside of Crosby. I mean, their linebackers aren't that good. Their defense, their secondary, pretty decent for coverage, but when it comes to a run game, I don't think they're there. So I think if you can really get a run game going, make these guys think like, oh, are they going to run or pass going into play? Like, Patrick Mahomes has that game all day long. Because if he can fake the play action time to time, that leaves a wide open, Mecole, maybe a Juju, maybe a Sky Moore going deep. And like you said, beating them over the top. It starts with that run game. It starts with getting those three guys, interior guys, Smith, Humphrey, and Tooney, and be able to get into that secondary of that defense and be able to block them and get some big yards.
Yeah, this Raiders team has been very underwhelming. So this is a great time
Correct.
to pounce, take advantage, send them down to 1-4 like they deserve. I do want to say, offensively for the Raiders in the red zone, they rank 28th in the league right now through 4 weeks, and defensively they rank 29th in the league. So both situations in the red zone, that's why the Raiders are failing, is because red zone opportunities are not successful at all on either side of the ball. And the Chiefs are one of the best red zone teams in the entire league. You're going to run into a big problem there if you're a Raider.
Well, I mean, we all know how to beat the Raiders, especially in Arrowhead, whether it's Vegas or Arrowhead, really. But get pressure on Derek Carr. Make Derek Carr have to hurry his throws, think about his reads quicker than he wants to. Like we saw it in the Chargers game week 1 at the end. They got pressure on Derek Carr. We saw it in Arizona when they ended up losing, or I guess in Vegas against Arizona, but they ended up losing in the fourth quarter because Derek Carr got pressure on him, and his receivers obviously didn't help him any, but he had pressure on him. He had to think quicker, he had to react quicker, which cost the offense opportunities going to play. So if we can continue our blitz, as in L'Jarius Sneed, right? Coming off the edge, they're hitting off the edge each time, coming into play, and cause Derek Carr to either throw an errant ball or sack him back a little bit, then we're going to be fine. I truly love our defense, the scheme that Spags does already this year. I think it's perfect mix against this Las Vegas offense here.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's going to be a struggle for Derek Carr because we all know how he is with pressure. So, as you just stated there, so I think that's going to be a big struggle because Chris Jones is going to come out hungry. L'Jarius Sneed, of course, is going to be used off the edge or from a nickel blitz standpoint. Stuff like that is going to be coming at him. And the Chiefs have had a lot of great success against Derek Carr in the past. And, a lot of that's been in cold weather games, but, this is still going to be Arrowhead Stadium on Monday Night Football, and it's something that Derek Carr has never been successful in. And so he's the least of my worries. I mean, at the end of the day, the Chiefs currently have the number 1 ranked rush defense going against Josh Jacobs, who is averaging 4.8 yards per carry right now.
Well, he just blew up against Denver last week.
Right. So he had one big week, but it's one of those things where I don't know if there's a situation here where the Raiders can come out looking positive at this whole situation because, the Chiefs are favored by 7 right now going into this game. The line's probably going to move. I could see this line moving up to like Chiefs by 8.5 or 9 even by the time the game comes around. And the Raiders have just been underachieving altogether. Derek Carr's quarterback rating right now is 83, 6 touchdowns, 4 picks. He's been sacked 9 times, and I expect to see those sacks go up after this Chiefs game. But also, some of the additions that they've gotten here in this offseason have not done anything at all. One of the better players in this entire league, Chandler Jones, has 0 sacks through 4 games, and they paid him a ton of money to go out there and make an impact on the game. You got 5 sacks total for your team right now through 4 games, and 4 of those sacks are from Max Crosby. That tells me you have literally one guy doing all the work on your pass rush to make anything happen whatsoever, and Nate Hobbs got the other sack. Cornerback.
We knew Crosby was special and everything, right? Like, it's not a guy that, as Chiefs fans, we're going to downgrade. We know he's good coming to play. We've seen him last year especially. But to have him be your guy for 4 sacks through 4 weeks.
And out of 5. 5 total sacks for your team.
That's not good.
And then your quarterback hits. You go from 7 from Max Crosby. Chandler Jones has had 4 quarterback hits now. Everyone else has had just 1. That's on the list. The pass rush for the Raiders is like non-existent. And this is the thing. Okay, in the Chiefs situation, I guess if we want to really block Max Crosby, we can put another tight end over there to chip him, or a running back, whatever. It's not a concern. Going against the Buccaneers, that was a concern. They do have a good pass rush there in Tampa Bay, and we've faced good teams so far in this 4-game stretch. But the Raiders are probably the least scary defense that the Chiefs have gone up against, and it's kind of amazing. It's amazing to look at the list of guys they have in this team, and you got veterans on there like Denzel Perryman and Rockison, who's a corner who's been around, Andrew Billings, of course, Jonathan Hankins, and somehow none of these guys are making an impact on the field at all. They're just literally existing, and it's kind of a sad situation right now for that defense at this point. So this past one they got against the Denver Broncos, 32-23. is the one thing that they probably needed the most to just keep any kind of confidence going that they're not going to completely suck this year.
Oh man.
So, I mean, from that standpoint, you have a fairly deflated Raiders team going against a Chiefs team who was angry last week and hungry, and also Patrick Mahomes immediately after the game went up to the rest of the team and said, "You know who we got next week? You know who's coming to town next week." So he didn't even want to take too much time to celebrate the win over the Buccaneers. He was already thinking about how he's going to take care of business against the Raiders. And we all know Andy Reid's record against divisional opponents, guys. I think he's lost like a total of 5 or 6 total games in the past 7 years against AFC West opponents. It's a big cause for trouble and cause for concern if you're the Raiders. But here, obviously, with Settling the Kingdom and Chiefs fans out there, thank you so much for listening. We're excited to make this a massacre. I want this to not be 41-31 like we saw the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game. I would like to see another 48-10 type of a game, just a pure, flat-out domination.
Exactly what I'm thinking.
That's what I want to see from this game against the Raiders, because I have no mercy for our 2 biggest rivals, which is the Broncos and Raiders. I want to go out there and destroy them, and I don't want them to have fun in the process.
I want what Denver should have done last week to the Raiders. Exactly what we need to do this week is, like Mike said, crush them. It should be one of those games right now through 4 weeks that the Chiefs should be able to go out and crush an opponent, and this is the opponent to crush. If we're going to ever make a big statement in this AFC West, it's going to be this here. And like I said, 40-10, great. I was thinking 30-0. So
yeah,
that's what I want.
Hey, I would take a shutout, and then Derek Carr throws 4 picks, and then they're having a controversy of if he should stay as quarterback.
Yeah, not only are we controversy in Las Vegas of Josh McDaniels and can he cut it for the season, but now we're going to be talking about Derek Carr possibly by the end of the Chiefs game.
Right. So, anyways, that's how we're feeling about this game at the moment, I think, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And, not to get overly confident. It's still the NFL, guys. I mean, we felt good about going into that Colts game. Let's not forget that.
We did.
And, I think you and I both sat here and predicted a Chiefs win.
30-10. I think I said 30-10 or something like that. So
sure. And, things do happen. Things go wrong here and there. But I really, truly feel like at home, in prime time, at Arrowhead, where Derek Carr has been well known to crumble.
yeah,
I really feel like this is going to be
a trap game or anything. So
No, not
like
at all,
the
man.
Colts game
Well,
felt.
Yeah, no, I don't. Well, as far as in Andy Reid's world, if you have Andy Reid as your head coach, trap games in the division do not exist.
No, they don't.
Your trap game that you will have every year will be a random opponent outside of your division, but he will never, ever have a trap game against a divisional opponent. He's never done that. It's never happened.
Nope.
Like anytime the Chiefs have lost to a divisional opponent since Andy Reid came to town in 2013, it has been well warranted. It's been a close game. It's been games that have just come down to the wire at the very end, and it's been against good opponents. I mean, there's a reason why the Chiefs have won 13 in a row against the Broncos, and it's because the Broncos suck. If you suck, you're going to get your ass beat against Andy Reid if you're in the AFC West.
That's right.
And there is no such a thing as a trap game if you're in this division. It's either who's the best team that day. That's it.
That's true.
There's no surprises here. So that's one thing that's great about Andy Reid is just his work and dedication he puts into divisional play. And we've here as Chiefs Kingdom and Chiefs fans, we know all about the way that Marty Schottenheimer went about approaching Raider Week, and just how much he wanted to beat the Raiders and how much he had this. You really truly felt you had this diehard hatred for the Oakland Raiders, and it's one of those things where Andy Reid does it in his own way, where he will never say it or express it in that same kind of fashion as Marty Schottenheimer did or as aggressive as he did. But Andy Reid will absolutely show you on the field that I'm here to destroy you, and I'm here to have Dontari Poe throw a touchdown against you. I'm here to do whatever it takes to make you look like an ass there on the field. And he does it in his own special way. So it's a wonderful thing, and he's very subtle about it, but it's definitely very much the same type of kill mentality against divisional opponents. And he did that back in the NFC East as well.
Yep.
I don't know if everyone remembers, but back with the Eagles, he destroyed the NFC East. He owned the NFC East. And there was no chance. I mean, if you were, back at that time, a Giant or a Redskin or Cowboy, I mean, you feared the Eagles. You knew when you played the Eagles in the division, you were probably going to get your butt whooped. And it didn't matter if who you had playing quarterback or what kind of way your team was looking at the time. When the Eagles came to play Donovan McNabb and so on, you were probably going to lose with the Eagles. And same thing's happening here in Kansas City, and it's been awesome. And I feel really good about this game against the Raiders, though, because the Chiefs are going to build off of this big win against the Buccaneers. And my whole thing is keep the run game going. I want to see more Pacheco. I want to see Clyde go out there and pick up those chunks like he did last week. And I want to see efficiency in the pass game. I want to see Pat complete 75% of his passes. And I want to see L'Jarius Sneed and Chris Jones and so on continue to create more pressure, just like we saw this past week here against the Buccaneers.
Yep. No, I'm right there with you. I just want to see momentum carry from one game to another. And the momentum we had on the Tampa game is exactly what I want to see carry over to this Vegas game. So it is a long week, right? So we got Monday Night Football, Raiders, of course. So today, it's Wednesday currently when we're recording this Wednesday night. So there is no injury report because today is a Tuesday for the Chiefs currently with the Monday night game. So we won't see an injury report till tomorrow from the team around this. So, but I mean, we're expecting Butker to be back.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, Butker should be back. He's
I know you
again,
expected him last week, and I told you it probably wasn't going to happen. But Butker should be back this week because he was out practicing last week. So I expect him back this week.
But Matthew Wright is still on the roster, the replacement kicker, who did a really, really good job last week. Obviously, made all of his kicks. He's still on the roster, which tells me that they're playing it cautious. You know, they're not ready to release him. That way, you know,
they're not going to rush him back.
It's one of those things.
Yeah.
As much as I love Butker, I think that we could probably live another week without him. In this case, especially considering that we saw some good things out of the current kicker who replaced Butker last week. So I don't want to rush him back by any means. We need Butker for when things matter and making those kicks. You know, and sure, the Bills game was going to come down to a few points here or there. And as well as I want to make sure he's healthy for December and January and so on. So, you know, that's my main concern with him is he's probably close to being ready to 100%, but at the same time, if we're at all worried about that ankle, then I'd rather just hold off and let him sit another week. So that's my opinion.
No rush on my end. I'm okay with what we got. Like this game especially, I don't think we're going to need to have Butker kick a 53-yard field goal to win the game. But possibly next week against the Bills, we might need him. So, but again, don't rush the guy. There's no sense in it through 5 weeks. Let's like you said, wait till December and make sure he is good to go on that foot. Outside of that, any other key injuries that you can think of at the moment?
Nothing that's going to make an impact on this game. I mean, the Chiefs team that we're working with right now is pretty healthy, and we're one of those teams every year lately, it seems like, where we've been really lucky with health. Yeah. I think that our trainers do a great job, and it stands out quite a bit on the field. Everyone has their nicks and bruises and all that go on throughout the year and soreness and so on, but our core of this roster does a really good job of staying healthy, and that's the thing I like the most right now. And Trey McDuffie will be back sometime in the next couple of weeks, I think, and we'll get to see that. So
about the same time, Willie Gay's back.
Yeah, Willie Gay, of course, will be back. Not this week.
Not for Buffalo.
He's
back for the 49ers, right?
Right. He'll be back in a couple weeks from now. So, but the Willie Gay situation obviously is a suspension, not an injury.
Not an injury, but still a missing piece of the defense.
Right. And so, but here's the thing. I've been very happy with the defense so far without Willie Gay and the replacements of, we've seen occasional Leo Chenal in there, but a lot of Darius Harris has been on the field. Of course, Nick Bolton is patrolling the whole damn thing, it feels like, in a lot of ways, where he is just running the middle of the defense. But I've liked a lot of the three safety sets. We're seeing more and Brian Cook on the field as well. And I've liked what I've seen out of him, obviously. He made a great play in the end zone to break up a pass there in the Buccaneers game, as a matter of fact. I think it was against Mike Evans even.
Yep.
And I see a lot of potential in him as time goes on. And right now we're working with the right guys on the field. There's no one on the field right now that I'm really angry at. There's no one that's like my Sorensen of the team or Ben Neiman of the team.
There's no Mike Rant this year?
Who?
No Mike's rant this year like we did last year?
No.
You had that rant
I don't
after
have
week
a
4.
rant. Well, yeah, I don't have a rant right now about anything negative. Of course, Jalen Watson gets beat here and there. He's also a 7th-round rookie, and things happen. He also won us a game against the Chargers, so how upset can I be with him whenever he gets beat by Mike Evans for a touchdown?
Yeah, a guy like Mike
it's
Evans,
fine.
right?
It is what it is, and Watson's one of those guys who's gonna learn quick in this league, and I think gonna be a stable guy as time goes on. Just he's new. He's played 4 games, so
I agree.
I do like him quite a bit, but I'd like to see as time goes on more Joshua Williams. I think so far he's been a little underwhelming, and I think we'll get that figured out as time goes on. A little coordination issue with him, but it's nothing for me to be overly concerned about. I mean, our main dudes are Rashad Fenton and L'Jarius Sneed.
You gonna die then?
I might die.
Choking up talking about Sneed and Fenton all of a sudden.
That was a really random little dryness.
All right, well, let's wrap this up here. Mike, what's your final prediction here?
Yeah, final prediction. I feel really good about this. There's really nothing about this Raiders game that we should be looking at and saying that it's going to be a scary trap game, this or that. The Chiefs have no reason not to go out there and put up something along the lines of like a 34-13 type of a game. They might give up 20. Could be 34-20. I could see that happening, but I feel good about the game regardless, and I think that this will be another game, and we're going to see more Clyde and Pacheco. I feel very, very good about that, and getting that run game going this week, of course.
Give me I'm going to try the score again. Let me give me a 30-10 ball game going to play. I think Devontae probably gets one in there, and then the kick Daniel Carson gets me some points for fantasy, and that's about it for the night for Vegas. So 30-10 is my prediction going into play.
All right. Well,
we're going to try it again. So, but guys, you can catch this here. Again, this is recorded on a Wednesday night, so there's no injury report to show you, unlike the previous week. So, please pay attention to your Twitter because that'll be posted as well. So, anything else going into play? Oh, wait, I got something. Monday night, guys, I am doing a special Buffoon and Botkins on the Sports Buffoons channel. I will be live. My plan is to be live for the whole entire Monday night game with the Chiefs Raiders. I'll have guests on as well, with Nick Botkins hopping on as well. But I do plan on making Monday night pretty special. I'll have the game cast on, of course, because we can't show the actual game or else we get kicked out. So I'll have game cast on. We'll talk about the game. I'll try to have a Raiders fan, maybe another Chiefs fan on, and then we'll talk most likely with Jim Behringer and Jonathan Grishman to finish the night. So tune in there, Buffoon and Botkins, Monday night, Sports Buffoons channel.
Yeah, very good time for a Monday night game for you guys to sit back and see how that goes live. So, yeah, that'll be fun for you guys.
It will be.
I'm not sure what I'm doing yet.
You don't know what you're doing yet?
No, not yet. I'll figure it out here soon.
Hey, you want to come on the Buffoon and Botkins?
Depends on where I'm at.
That's
so
true.
that's the main
if
question.
If you end up going nowhere, you're more than welcome to hop on.
Right. I might end up at JT's or something. I don't know. We'll see.
It's a good bar. Good bar. All right, everybody. You guys know what the deal is. Like, subscribe, follow. We bring you Chiefs content weekly coming into play here. Yes, we haven't done a pre and post show. It's all right. We give you at least a preview here going into the following week here. So check it out. Every Friday morning, we'll drop a video. So
that's right. I'll see y'all on the next one.
Go Chiefs.